Yeah.
Well, hello everyone. You're you're joining us live with April and Anjali. We're excited. This is our first episode,
Yes.
and we're talking about finding wealth in the moment today. And Anjali, what has happened for you recently, in your life? How have you found wealth in the moment?
Mm. For me, when I think about wealth in the moment, it's really about the last 6 months and what all has transpired for me since the time this our current time was declared a pandemic, right? And with all of the craziness that has happened, with all of the shifts in my work, there have been such gifts that have come out of this time, particularly new friendships that I've developed, like the one I share with you. And I think that since COVID started, we have been talking like multiple times a week, and for me, that's building wealth. And I've had the chance to do that with a few different people over this time. It has created the space for me to reach out to people whose message that resonated with me. I've never met them before. I connected with them and have these conversations that are so enriching. Um, so whenever we talk about wealth at this moment, that's what comes to my mind immediately. What about you?
So when I'll just say as recently as this weekend and even today is that how I've been finding wealth in the moment by is taking taking time for play.
Mm.
And that play manifests in different ways. We did a birthday party this weekend for our kids with people in our circle, like close family, like cousins, my and and a few friends. And in preparing for that party, we've been doing a lot of building. There's play with building. My husband built a swing set that's 13 feet tall, and he, my son, my daughter, even my youngest son, they all love to swing high. My oldest son, he's gotten to the point where he swings so high that he reaches a branch and can put his and it can grab a leaf between his toes and a branch. It is quite uh, awing to witness. And with
That
that,
sounds amazing.
yeah, it's pretty cool. And with that play, we've also built other things like, oh, what other materials are around the house, such as we we built what do you call it, the when you kind of teeter tot on it.
Mm.
One person sits on each side. Oh, a seesaw.
Seesaw.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
so we built a seesaw as well, where it was like was just some other like spare wood that was hanging about, a balance beam, actually two balance beams, some monkey bars, and we
Wow.
had a lot of different parts to help support build different things because I like to upcycle, you know,
Yeah.
part new, part used, and like we have a huge satellite dish as well that I got from someone's uh, property that they weren't using anymore, and we made that into a swing, and
Oh
we
my
can get our
goodness.
entire army of kids on that swing, and it's sort of like a pirate ship. But what's so amazing is that you when you're sitting there and you're just laying back, you get to kind of peer up into the sky. You can
Hmm.
and see all the clouds and just kind of breathe in and enjoy nature.
Yeah.
So it's giving a bit of breath in another way of just relaxing and then enjoying the moment. So
That sounds so refreshing and
yeah,
right in your backyard.
yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We basically have a playground in our backyard
Yeah.
with all the things that happen. We even added on Friday a Gaga ball pit, which is basically dodgeball in an octagon, and you can only use your hands, and you're out if you are hit below the knee. So another just fun. Like we're in there playing with our kids. It's not just them. We kind of do all these things with them, and it's loads of fun,
That's pretty
and it
cool.
gives me so much freedom. It frees my mind to all the different things that are going on with the world.
Mm,
It it uh, it provides breath, with slowing down and just enjoying and taking stock on what matters and and just enriching myself with that wealth of family, the wealth
yeah.
that happens through play, and the wealth to refocus yourself. And it gives you that breath so you can focus in on some of your other goals. And I realized that I really need that, is to take that moment to pause in order to speed up.
Yeah, we use that term a lot. Sometimes we don't really uh, take a moment to understand what that means.
Mm,
Slow down to speed up, right? So what has emerged? Like, I have so many questions on this whole weekend of yours with your kids. Um, but like, I'm curious, like, what emerged for you in terms of you mentioned something about your goals. I'm curious, like, how did that slowing down and that breath that you took, what showed up for you in terms of your goals?
Um, it helps me refocus to think about things that I'm like turning and can't figure out like where to begin.
Hmm.
So it's giving me a gateway to give some ahas where I'm starting to take notes for planning for a keynote that I'm giving in November, which is feels difficult at this time because the world is constantly changing.
Yeah,
And November, we don't know what's happening, and I'm quite organic in nature on how I go about things.
yeah,
So it's giving me seeds to help pull things together, and I draw from many places, and has been one of those.
yeah. I think I read somewhere, and it's been true for me in terms of like actually when we are when we pause or when we take a break, our brain does the work for us in
Mm.
terms of like making connections and tying things together, and we have to kind of allow it to rest in order for it to be able to do its work. So maybe that's a little bit of what you're experiencing when you're playing with your kids. But I bet that your kids are teaching you stuff as well, right? I mean, you homeschool them, right?
Yes, yeah, we homeschooled before COVID, and they learn a lot through play as well. Of course, you
Hmm.
cover other different things, and I'm one who believes that when someone says, "Well, learning's not fun, but you just got to do it," I'm like, "No, everything can be fun. You can have fun, and you can bring gaming into learning. They learn about science, technology, engineering, art, and math through play, through building, through exploration. So,
Yeah, just building that playground probably taught them how to apply all of those things that you just mentioned.
yeah, the playground, the tree house that I'm in right now, and
Yes, I
it's
love your
so
treehouse.
and so many other things. So, what has emerged? In what else? What ahas have you had? Uh,
Like as you're talking about nature in your backyard, uh, so for me, I live close to the beach, just 10 minutes from the beach. So this background is actually where I would like to be, not where I actually am at the moment. But this past weekend, one of my friends invited me to go take a walk on the beach, and I realized how I don't do it often enough, and it's so accessible to me. And yesterday, I found myself in a place where I was preparing for a workshop for this week. And typically, like in preparation for something new, like a workshop, I spend all of my time like rereading stuff and making sure that, I have everything prepared and dotting the I's and crossing the T's and all this stuff. So when my friend invited me, I kind of paused for a moment to say, should I actually go have fun? And then I decided to do that. And oh my gosh, it's like the similar experience to what you were mentioning, right? Like it just allowed me to kind of uh, settle into just being one with nature, enjoying the company of my friend. And it just so happened that she's a CEO of a nonprofit, and she brought up all kinds of topics about leadership that ended up being where I was able to get a frame my brain around the topic that I would be teaching this week with her, with a real live leader.
Oh,
so so it ended up working out both ways for me. But oh, it just made me realize I need to take that 10-minute trip to the beach a little
mhm,
more often.
yeah. So as we wrap up for today,
Hmm.
and we thank you for your time. What I um, ask of you all, I invite you all to share with us maybe your own positive intentions on how you will pause and play, pause and invite breath and freedom into your life.
I love that, April. I think I'm going to steal the pause and play. So for those of you watching, subscribe to our YouTube channel for these live conversations. Follow us on Facebook and on LinkedIn and Twitter and Instagram, and you'll be alerted of our next live airing. And we do it, even that is emergent. So we allow our live streaming to happen when it just feels right. So I hope you enjoyed today's conversation, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah. Thank you. And join us again for a conversation about black breath and freedom.